All units, Irene. I say again, Irene.
The April annual autism issue includes articles on how community involvement and volunteering provide benefits for individuals with autism, including an article in the military section. Other topics include picky eating, understanding time concepts, and improving the haircut experience for individuals with sensory processing disorder. Read Exceptional Parent magazine for free by going to www.
The final decision on the timing of D-Day will be mine, and mine alone.
Called General Eisenhower.
Tiger was a training op, dress rehearsal for D-Day. They walked right into it. One mistake. Just that one mistake.
Ike, you have to stop doing this to yourself. What's done is done. Group Captain Dr. James Stagg, here at the express request of General Eisenhower.
Do we have a date yet for the invasion zone?
D-Day is in 61 hours from now. This is the largest seaborne invasion in history. Fate of the war, thousands of lives hinge on this. I need a forecast. Churchill tells me you're the best meteorologist in the country.
Get me the latest readings from every single base within 2,000 miles of Normandy. The invasion's confirmed for Monday.
Oh, they won't like this.
We are faced with a succession of 2 aggressive storms.
Are you absolutely certain?
D-Day will be calm and sunny.
I couldn't disagree with that more.
If D-Day is cancelled, we will lose this war.
The final decision on the timing of D-Day will be mine, and mine alone.
If you invade tomorrow, they're going to be washed away.
300,000 men with families that they may never see again. Why should I trust you?
We must face the facts! The facts! However frightening they may be!
If we delay,
the enemy will be ready and waiting. They'll slaughter every single last one of us.
The storms that I'm talking about are real, and the wrath of nature is real.
Monotony. It comes in all shapes and sizes. Dull, tedious, just plain boring. But what is this? A contender, perhaps? Something unboring by the looks of it. Jabs right at dull, an uppercut to tedium, something that keeps you on your toes, keeps your head on a swivel. A knockout punch to your old, boring workouts. Welcome to Fight Camp.
Am I under arrest?
You've assaulted an innocent man in front of his wife and baby girl. Do you remember any of that?
Does the defendant have any priors?
Resisting arrest, DUI, assault.
My client has been awarded a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star Medal for his combat service.
I'm ordering you to undergo a 60-day outpatient rehabilitation program. Good luck.
Nah, I'm not doing that. Do you know what the VA's put me through?
If you have a brain in your head, you're going to listen to me right now. Because the next time you try to provoke a lethal response from law enforcement, you might not have an angel sitting on your shoulder.
The courts think that you're gonna fix me.
I hate to disappoint you, but I can't fix you. That's your job, not mine.
Did you know that your father got out?
He's a dangerous man, Calvin. Be careful.
We came back, and they spat on us at the airport. No homecoming parade, no celebrations.
You can't pretend like you have any idea what it's like to be in combat.
No, but what I do know is this field of work that I've dedicated my life to has helped a lot of people.
When you got back, something was different. It wasn't that you'd changed. You'd been replaced.
You lose your morality when you go to war. And the hard part is coming back to a civilian society that doesn't have any idea what's going on in your head.
It's hard to believe my enemy is the man I used to be.
I bet you wonder, where's my tribe? And I ain't talking about no friendship neither. I'm talking about brotherhood.
What is it that you truly want, Calvin?
I just want to wake up in the morning and feel something.
Our pain is relative, son. Sometimes we gotta fall apart to find ourselves all over again.
You were willing to give your life for your country. Now maybe you can try living for it.
What are you feeding this guy? Look at this.
What do you want? I did 4 tours.
Of the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh! Okay. Little spicy, little spicy.
The movie, music, news, television promos, trailers, and videos used by Oscar Mike Radio are protected by the Fair Use Act. Section 107 of the Copyright Act. 1. The purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of commercial nature or is for non-profit educational purposes. 2. The nature of the copyrighted work. 3. The amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. 4. The effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work.
I joined the military to be a part of something bigger, and solving complex problems was part of the job. But when it came to my mental health, I had no clue where to start.
Thankfully, you didn't need to figure it out alone.
If the veteran in your life is having a hard time, you can be the one to offer help.
VA has resources like family education about mental health challenges, couples therapy, and parenting courses, so you can help your veteran build a brighter future.
Learn more about resources available at mentalhealth.va.gov/families.
I'll get talking here in a minute, but I wanted to do something very different for Memorial Day this year. And I'm kind of going to share how I do Memorial Day. And you might have a different way. You might not even really think about it a whole lot, and that's okay. In a way, that's the way it's supposed to be. I just wanted to share what happens when I think about Memorial Day and those who are no longer here. And this has become a very special place to me in Abington. Hi, it's Travis. Welcome to Oscar Mike Radio on this 2026 Memorial Day special, if you will. Like I said, I'm going to do this a little bit differently this year. I kind of want to take you through my Memorial Day ritual or how I do it, kind of talk with you about what's going through my mind, and start with cigar. A nice Drew Estates Blondie Bellicoso.
I got started smoking cigars in the Marine Corps, and it's very appropriate now because some of the Marines I'm going to talk with you about are no longer here who used to enjoy one with me. And back then I was a broke PFC and Lance Corporal, so it was the Phillies blunt, but I think they wouldn't mind my choice today. And my first thing is I think back to those graves behind me and realize that everyone, grew up, joined the military, or were drafted and got in the military and served and are no longer here. Like they lost their life in service to our country. And I like this setting because for a long time here in America, it used to be big, huge parades, focus on the barbecues and the sales and all that, and that's fine. But what's happening more and more is towns, municipalities, even regions, counties have a ceremony at the veterans' gravesite. And this is the Mount Vernon Cemetery here in Abington, Massachusetts. And on Memorial Day, there'll be a ceremony here, which is extremely intimate and surreal and respectful. And I just want to give a shout out to the Abington High School that shows up to Scouts, Reverend Dr. Chrissy Coburn and her husband Kim, both naval officers, to head the ceremony up, and the other people involved. And a big shout out to Colvin Landscaping, who will clean this up before the ceremony. But even before that, I was coming here and having a seat and smoking my cigar and thinking about what does Memorial Day mean to me. And again, it goes back to those flags you see behind me, and those flags represent a life that was lost in service to our country. So I can sit here and do this. I don't have to get a pass. I don't have to get a piece of paper or a chit. I can go pretty much anywhere I want to go in the United States. It's a great thing. I can do this. And so I think about what was lost. So those families lost something that they can never get back. And I'm so grateful that when the call came, people were there to answer the call. And I don't know about other parts of the country, but here in New England, Memorial Day we shed the last vestiges of winter, and now we can actually start enjoying warm weather. And I feel amazing right now for a lot of reasons, because it's like 80 degrees outside. I'm like, it's life feels new and exciting, and the leaves are out and the birds are chirping, and there is this sense of freedom that I really can't explain, and it's so wonderful to enjoy that. And doing it in this place just makes me put everything away and focus on the stories that we're never going to hear again. And when the ceremony is going on, I think what comes to my mind is it's truly true. The cliche is true. As long as these names are read, as long as these names are talked about, they're never truly forgotten. And so I do this to kind of make sure that I'm not distracted, and I'm truly, centered on what this day is. And again, I'm not saying that people have to do this. I'm not saying that if you don't do this, you're less than, please. But for me, it's important. It's about 45 minutes out of my year to sit here the week before Memorial Day, or a night, sometimes it's a weeknight, depending upon my schedule, to take time out of my life to do this. And I only know a couple of the people behind me who lost loved ones that are buried here in this grave. And I can tell you it's the least I can do, because they feel that loss every day. There are people behind here who I've met, surviving family members, shook their hands, gave them hugs, listened to their story, and realized they feel this every day. So a couple minutes out of the year is the least I can do. And then I go back into my Marine Corps time, and there are a couple Marines that, three particularly that I helped bury. One directly, two indirectly. Two of them I served with, they were in my battery. 2 were killed on liberty. 1 was killed on the job. They would be about my age, maybe a little bit younger, a couple older. And I still go back when I sit here and think about those 3 deaths and realize that, no, I did not serve in combat. But make no mistake, military service can and sometimes is dangerous in training. Accidents do happen. Human mistake happens. And when mistakes break down and processes and procedures break down and people, maybe take shortcuts or maybe not, or maybe it just is an act of God for whatever reason, there's real consequences. And I think it's because that these deaths weren't in combat that it kind of sticks to me more than if they were in combat. And I'm not saying that combat deaths are any less tragic than non-combat deaths. Please don't misunderstand me. But when you think about what happened and what I went through, it's like, wait a minute, we weren't even in combat when this happened. What would have happened if we had been in combat? I just remember, hey, this person got killed on this date and they're no longer with us and you're part of the funeral detail. And, we would take our Phillies blunts, go out into the desert, watch the stars, light them up, talk about life and stuff. Or, we'd go out in the field doing our field thing. And, fortunately in the desert, there's no mosquitoes in the desert. There's no water. But still, it was a nice day to unwind after a day of baking in the heat. To have a cigar with a fellow Marine and talk about life and the future and what was going on, how to get through things. And that's been gone. It's been gone for a long, long time now. So I take this time right now and remember getting called names about the size of my head or getting, teased about other things and just having to take it, or the other things that Marines do to, bother other Marines just because they're there. And I really miss that sometimes. I have great civilian colleague experiences, but nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. I miss those times where, we're in the 5-ton going back to the main side for chow or, some new porta potties. And it's just me and the other Marine in the 5-ton. You kind of take a little bit of break on the rank and we just talk like people. And those times are gone. They were gone when I left the military and they're gone because that person's no longer here. Then the next thing I think about is the people I served with who died after service. And there are a bunch of them. I mean, I got to tell you honestly, sometimes I thought I'd be one of the first ones to go. I'm still here, and people who were PT maniacs, walk the straight and narrow with their health, don't want to run and drop dead, not wake up from their sleep, any number of things. They're just not here with us anymore. Can't call them up, can't message them on Facebook or social media, can't ask them for advice, can't kind of chuckle when I'd like to call that dude and just see what he's up to, ride a motorcycle. But I don't forget him. And again, it's not like I think about them every day. It's just, I remember them now. And then they're never truly gone. And I kind of close it out with, what's the cost? Do people understand the cost for the life they enjoy? Do people have any idea what it's like for people, say, in Ukraine or in the Middle East or other parts of the world where the cost hasn't been borne out? Or in other parts of the world where they don't think about Memorial Day. You die in service to that country, well, you get a little plaque, you get a little medal, and that's it. See ya. What's that like? Seeing the high schoolers and the families with their young children at events like this, or in other events involving Memorial Day, it gives me hope. It's very easy to sit there and say that the young people don't care, don't want to learn, and don't really understand. But when I see a mom and dad with their kids, sometimes young, sometimes teenagers, out on Monday morning, I'm like, those parents got it right. So thank you, parents, for bringing your kids out. Thank you, parents, for teaching your children that freedom isn't free and that there is a cost. And allowing your children to see and understand what this all means. And again, I mentioned the Abington High School band. I really get in my feelings when the band plays during the ceremony. And these talented, amazing musicians, these young high schoolers took the time to learn these songs and got their instruments out. No air conditioning. The morning mosquitoes are still bugging them. But they do a rendition of Amazing Grace or God Bless America like nothing I've ever heard. Well done. I usually do this in the evening when it's a little bit quieter. But I like the light. The future's bright. The ceremony ends with the reading of names. And people either go back to the American Legion and have some snacks, or you go about your day. It never feels like a burden or an obligation. It's time spent in my own little world remembering people who came before me, people who were with me, and people who are no longer with me, but they're always with me. And when you see that gold star decal in someone's car or in front of someone's home, realize that that loved one is no longer with them, but the pain and hurt is always there. It never truly goes away. And I haven't had to experience that myself with one of my loved ones personally. I can't imagine what that's like. But I know that someone's going to experience it down the road. Like we don't do this and get away with no scars or injuries. You just don't. Again, there is a cost. And some people bear a heavy burden for what we have. I don't know what you're going to do on your Memorial Day. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Generally, after this, I have to make tracks for, down to the Foxborough area, the Rentham area, to meet up with Rolling Thunder Mass Chapter 2 and do their event. And then there's some other things going on here in Abington that mean a lot to people here in certain other areas that I might do. But it's a very busy day, which is also why I like taking this time out just for me before the ceremony happens, so I can understand how I feel and how I'm going to process these emotions and what goes on. And again, all I'll say is this: however you do it, it might be over the grill, making sure that chicken is done. You got to have the chicken done. It might be, you pushing the stroller with your children into the ice cream shop. You might be on the beach. You might be in the car. However it comes across your mind, as long as it came across your mind, you took that minute and that time, this is okay. And, we're turning 250 years this year. And there's a lot of chaos in this world right now, I know. But I also know there's a lot of good people who want to keep this going. And I mean by this country, the ability to live a life of freedom and where our forefathers fought and died for. And I think it really came to focus this last weekend when I was in the Saratoga National Park, touring that battleground and what that meant for the British Army to be defeated. And we're walking over ground where men and women bled and died to stop the British so we could have a country in conditions that just are unbelievable. So I'm going to finish the cigar. I hope you have a safe Memorial Day and kick off to the summer. We're mission in flight, and I'll see you next time.
Every generation, every sacrifice. Our nation's service members have stood up for our freedom, our families, and our future. Now it's our turn to stand up for them. This year, you can honor their service in a deeply personal way by sponsoring a $17 Veterans Wreath. Each wreath is more than a symbol. It's a heartfelt tribute to the heroes who served and to the families who carry their legacy. Visit wreathsacrossamerica.org to sponsor a wreath today. This isn't just a wreath. It's a personal gift to an American hero.
Thank you for listening and watching Oscar Mike Radio, where our active duty service members and veterans are in action and the mission is in flight. Oscar Mike Radio is an oversized load Co-Sinister One production. If you are a veteran or know a veteran who needs help, please dial 988 and press 1 for the Veterans Crisis Line.